Welcome back to Talk Tickers, where we like to, deep dive into these earnings calls and figure out what's really going on. Today, we're taking a look at American Express's fourth quarter 2024 performance, and I got to say, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's always kind of fascinating to see how these big companies, especially one like AXP that's so rooted in this premium finance and lifestyle space, how they navigate this always shifting financial world.
Oh, for sure. And it seems like they've been doing a pretty good job at navigating. They just had another great year, like just blew past their own long-term growth target.
Seriously, they're not just meeting expectations, they're exceeding them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this record annual revenue hitting $66 billion, a 10% jump even after you adjust for, currency exchange rates. And get this, a record net income of $10 billion.
Wow. Okay, so that's not just good. That's like a serious sign that their strategy is working.
Yeah.
And that all translates to, like, what? Earnings per share, $14.01. That's a 25% increase for the year. Clearly something's working.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this performance is all thanks to a bunch of things, record card member spending, those net card fees that everyone loves to argue about. Plus, they added a crazy 13 million new cards to their portfolio.
13 million. That's a lot of new premium customers. But what I find really interesting is how much spending jumped in Q4. Like their billings growth hit 8%, which is quite a bit higher than the previous quarters. What's driving all the spending?
Well, it's not just a general increase across the board. There's this kind of demographic twist that's really catching my eye. Millennial and Gen Z spending on AXT cards is going through the roof, growing way faster than any other age group. Like we're talking a 16% jump in Q4 alone.
Okay, so that definitely makes you think, right? Like, is this just a temporary holiday spending spree, or is this like a real shift in how younger generations view spending? Like, are they embracing this idea of luxury?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards thinking this is more than just a holiday bump. Millennials and Gen Z are, entering those peak earning years, and they aren't afraid to spend on those premium experiences. And AXP seems to get that, They've tapped into it.
Yeah, totally. It's like they've cracked the code to appeal to this generation that's all about experiences over material possessions.
Yeah.
And speaking of experiences, AXP's travel and entertainment sector is like making a huge comeback.
Yeah.
Airline spending doubled, like literally doubled quarter over quarter.
Yeah. And it's not just, any travel. Front of cabin bookings went up a wild 19%. It seems like people are they're ready to splurge on that premium travel again, which, is a pretty good sign that people feel confident even with all the economic stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like all that pent-up demand from the pandemic is finally coming out,
Oh.
but with this like luxury twist. So we've got this surge in spending, especially from younger folks, and a clear love for high-end experiences. So what's next?
Well, this is where AXP's international strategy comes in. International markets are their fastest growing segment, clocking in a 15% increase in Q4. And this is happening across both consumer and commercial spending.
So their gamble on expanding beyond the U.S. seems to be working. Like they've found this whole new playing field with like a ton of potential.
Exactly. They've just barely scratched the surface of what they can do internationally. And it's not just about, geographic expansion. AXP is really focused on creating this like unique membership model and those premium experiences that really set them apart.
Right. It's not just a card. It's like a whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
And they're constantly updating their products. Like over 40 products globally were revamped in 2024, just constantly evolving to meet the needs of their customers.
And don't forget about their investments in exclusive experiences, sponsorships, and those super popular Centurion lounges, their Formula One partnership, the expanded lounge access. It's all part of creating this prestigious ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like they're creating this exclusive club, community of people who really value these premium services and experiences. And in a world with so many choices, that sense of belonging is pretty valuable.
It's about creating that sense of aspiration. It's not just another financial transaction. People want to be part of something special, and AXP is really tapping into that.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about credit performance. Despite all the economic headwinds we keep hearing about, AXP's credit performance is still super strong. Like their delinquency and write-off rates are actually below pre-pandemic levels, which is pretty amazing.
It really is. It speaks to their strong risk management and, well, of course, the financial stability of their carefully selected customer base. They're not just lending to anyone. They're choosing people who are less likely to be affected by the ups and downs of the economy.
Yeah, that's a smart move, especially with all the uncertainty out there. So strong financials, targeted growth, and a customer base that seems immune to economic jitters.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, 2025 marks AXP's 175th anniversary, which is a pretty big deal. And they're not just celebrating the past, they're looking ahead with these really bold projections. They're predicting revenue growth of 8% to 10%, with earnings per share landing between $15 and $15.50.
Those are some ambitious goals, but given their history, I wouldn't doubt them.
And remember, these projections are based on a stable economy and a continuation of the current spending trends we're seeing. But, Q4 spending was stronger than expected, so there might be some, positive surprises if that momentum keeps going.
Yeah, I can hear that, like a hint of optimism there. It almost feels like their guidance is conservative, like they're leaving room for, potential upside surprise. It's definitely interesting.
It wouldn't be the first time they've exceeded expectations. Now, before we get too carried away with all this speculation, a quick reminder, we're not financial advisors, so don't take anything we say as, investment advice.
Exactly. We're just, a couple of finance folks geeking out over an earnings call and sharing our thoughts and interpretations.
But that being said, we can't resist throwing out a maybe a little crazy but kind of plausible trade idea. Given how much millennial and Gen Z spending on AXP cards is exploding, maybe it's time to look at businesses that are, really catering to their tastes.
Okay, I'm listening. What kind of businesses are we talking about here?
Well, think about it. A luxury travel aggregator, one that curates those high-end, unique travel experiences that this demographic is like craving.
Oh, I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Targeting those people who are looking for something beyond the ordinary,
Yeah.
something a bit more, curated and premium.
Exactly. Or how about like a high-end experiential platform, something that offers like exclusive access to concerts, sporting events, culinary journeys, that kind of stuff that, really speaks to this generation's desire for experiences.
Now you're talking my language. A platform that really capitalizes on this experience economy, catering to a generation that values, moments over material possessions. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's just a thought, but it's always fun to think about how these broader trends could translate into potential investment opportunities.
Totally. This deep dive has been a whirlwind of information so far. We've covered ASP's great performance, their strategic focus on the premium segment, and even, explored some pretty interesting trade ideas. But there's more to unpack here. Stay tuned as we dive even deeper into what these earnings results really mean, both for AXP and for the bigger financial picture.
Welcome back to Talk Tickers. Before we, keep going, let's just do a quick recap of where we left off. American Express's Q4 earnings were, pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure. We were just starting to talk about like what all this could mean, not just for AXP, but for the whole financial landscape.
So where do you see AXP going in the next, few years?
Well, they're in a pretty good spot, wouldn't you say? They've really carved out this niche as the go-to brand for those premium customers and businesses, especially those millennials and Gen Z folks we were talking about.
Absolutely, and that focus they have on building this strong membership model with all those, exclusive perks and experiences, it's really smart. It's creating this powerful network effect, right? Where the membership becomes more valuable as more of these high-spending customers join.
Yeah, it's a really brilliant strategy. The more they, enhance the membership, the more appealing it becomes, and it just draws in more of those high-value customers. It's like this, this virtuous cycle of growth.
Exactly. And their expansion internationally adds another layer to this whole growth story. Remember, they're just getting started in terms of, really penetrating the global market.
Yeah, if they can even, replicate a small part of their success in the U.S. internationally, the potential for growth is huge. It's like they've, leveled up.
Totally. And let's not forget their credit performance. Those, super low delinquency and write-off rates are really impressive, especially when you consider all the economic uncertainty that's out there.
Yeah, that's a big advantage, especially in these, unpredictable economic times. They're not exposed to the same level of risk as some of their competitors who, cater to a broader range of credit profiles. It gives them like a certain resilience.
Yeah, exactly. They have more, more flexibility to deal with any economic storms, and they can, keep investing in growth even when others are pulling back. It shows how stringent their underwriting standards are, and the financial strength of their customer base.
It almost seems like they're playing a different game. They're not just competing on interest rates or rewards points. It's like they're competing on creating this aspirational lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's a powerful differentiator. It's not something that's easily copied, especially by some of these newer fintech companies that are more focused on niche products or specific demographics. AT is playing a long game, building a brand that people actually aspire to be a part of.
It's a smart strategy, but no company is perfect. What are some of the challenges, the headwinds you see, on the horizon for AXP?
Well, I think maintaining their premium brand positioning in this increasingly competitive market is going to be it's going to be key. They can't afford to get complacent.
Right. There's always that temptation to chase growth by, expanding their customer base, but that could, dilute their brand and alienate their core, high spending customers.
It's a tough balancing act. They need to keep innovating, finding new ways to make those premium customers happy while also fending off competition from both those traditional players and those quick moving fintech startups.
And technology is like a major battleground. The whole payments landscape is, changing so quickly. There are new technologies and payment methods popping up all the time.
Oh, for sure. They have to be, right at the forefront of these innovations, whether it's, embracing mobile payments, using data analytics, or, even exploring things like blockchain technology. They can't afford to fall behind.
And then there's all those macroeconomic wildcards we can't ignore, like fears of a recession, inflation, geopolitical instability. All of that can have a big impact on how much people spend, especially in those travel and luxury sectors that AXP is focused on.
And that's where their focus on those high quality customers really helps. These are the people who are less likely to be affected by economic downturns. They're more likely to keep spending, which gives AXP some protection against those external shocks.
So it's about building a business that can, adapt and do well in different economic conditions. A business that's built to last.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's zoom out a bit. What does AXP's performance tell us about the overall consumer landscape, especially in the premium segment?
Well, with all the talk about economic doom and gloom, AXP's results are actually pretty optimistic. Their strong performance, especially in travel and entertainment, suggests that those high-end consumers are still feeling good and they're still spending.
Yeah, that's a positive sign for industries that cater to this segment, like luxury goods and services and travel and hospitality. It seems like that desire for premium experiences is still going strong.
But it also kind of highlights the growing wealth gap, right?
Mhm.
Those who have money are still spending, maybe even more, while those who are struggling are probably cutting back.
Yeah, it's a complex issue with a lot of implications. AXP's performance is like a little snapshot of the bigger economic reality, reminding us that things aren't perfect, and there's potential for things to become unstable.
It's a reminder that while some parts of the economy might be doing great, others are facing challenges. It shows how important it is to understand these nuances and realize that when things get better, it doesn't always help everyone equally.
Now, before we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with something to think about. We've talked a lot about how good AXP is at creating these premium experiences, but what if they took it even further?
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm always open to exploring new ideas. What do you have in mind?
What if AXP went beyond travel and entertainment and started creating experiences in other areas of life, like healthcare, education, personal development, areas where people are, increasingly looking for those premium personalized experiences.
Now that's an interesting concept. Imagine having access to the best doctors, personalized learning programs, or like exclusive wellness retreats, all curated by AXP, using their network and expertise.
It would be a bold move, but
Mm.
but it fits with their brand and their focus on meeting the changing needs of their premium customer base. It's about becoming, a true lifestyle partner, helping their customers, live their best lives, not just their best financial lives.
Yeah, it's definitely a vision worth thinking about. It shows how powerful it is to constantly innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. It's about anticipating what your customers need and want, and meeting those needs in new and unexpected ways.
And it's a good reminder that the most successful companies are the ones that can, adapt, evolve, and anticipate what's coming next. They're not just reacting to change; they're shaping it.
Yeah, and that's what makes these deep dives so valuable. They don't just give you a better understanding of how a company's doing. They also spark new ideas and make you rethink your assumptions about what's possible.
It's about, connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture, and understanding what's really going on in the world around us. It's about asking the right questions and being open to those unexpected answers.
And that brings us to the end of another fascinating look into the world of earnings calls. We've broken down AXP's impressive performance, analyzed their strategic moves, and even brainstorm some pretty bold outside the box ideas. But the conversation doesn't have to end here. We want to hear what you think about all this. What stood out to you? What questions do you have?
Yeah, jump into the comments and share your insights. We always love to hear from our listeners and learn from your perspectives.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deeper.
All right, welcome back to Talk Tickers. We've been spending this episode, really digging into American Express's impressive Q4 earnings, exploring all their strategic moves, and just, kind of thinking about what it all means for the company and for the bigger financial landscape.
Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting ride so far. We've covered a lot, from their record financial performance to their focus on those premium experiences and their ambitious international expansion.
We definitely found some interesting nuggets of information. So let's try to bring it all together. What are like the key takeaways from this earnings call, and what does it all mean for you, the listeners?
I think the first takeaway is pretty clear. AXP is doing incredibly well. They're seeing impressive revenue and earnings growth, and it's all driven by strategic investments, strong execution, and let's be honest, a good economic environment for their target market. Yeah, their strategy of really focusing on building that premium customer base is definitely paying off. These customers are less affected by economic downturns. They're more likely to keep spending even when things are uncertain.
Right, and their commitment to building that strong membership model with all those perks and experiences, it's creating this powerful network effect. It's like it attracts more and more of those high spending customers who want to be a part of that exclusive club.
Yeah, they're not just selling a credit card. They're selling a lifestyle. This aspirational brand that people want to be connected to. It's smart marketing, but it's also backed by strong financials and a deep understanding of their customers.
And we can't forget about their international expansion. I mean, they've barely tapped into the global market, which means there's huge potential for growth in the years to come.
It's almost like they have these two powerful engines driving their growth. That continued expansion of their premium customer base in the U.S., and then that aggressive push into those international markets.
No, obviously no investment is without risk. AXP faces competition, both from those traditional financial players and from those nimble fintech startups that are always trying to catch up. They need to stay, ahead of the game when it comes to technology if they want to maintain their advantage.
And of course, there's all those macroeconomic factors we talked about. The possibility of a recession, inflation, geopolitical instability. All of that can potentially affect consumer spending, especially in those areas where AXP is focused, like travel and luxury experiences.
But overall, I think it's safe to say that AXP is a well-managed company with a a really solid track record. They seem to be in a good position to handle those potential challenges and continue to deliver value to their shareholders.
So what does all of this mean for, for you, our listeners? What should you be taking away from this deep dive?
Well, if you're looking for a company that has a history of growth, a strong competitive position, and a resilient business model, AXP is definitely worth considering. Their focus on those premium customers and experiences makes them particularly attractive in a world where consumers are increasingly looking for unique and memorable experiences.
And their international expansion
Yeah.
gives them, a lot of room for future growth, which, makes them a potentially compelling option for people who are looking for those long-term investment opportunities.
And as always, any investment decision should be based on your own personal situation, your risk tolerance, and your investment goals. We're not giving financial advice here. We're just, offering some insights and perspectives to help you make those informed decisions.
That's right. Always do your own research. Think about your own personal financial situation before you, make any investment decisions. But hopefully this deep dive is, giving you some things to think about and maybe even, spark some ideas for your own investment journey.
Yeah, this whole exploration of AXP's earnings has been, it's been really interesting. It reminds us that even in a world that's always changing and often unpredictable, companies that focus on delivering that exceptional customer value and stay ahead of the curve, they can really thrive.
And that's what we're all about here at Talk Tickers. We want to, give you the insights and perspectives you need to understand the complexities of the financial world and make those smart decisions. We believe that, knowledge is power, and we're committed to empowering our listeners with the information they need to navigate this, ever-changing financial world.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deeper. We'll be back soon with another episode of Talk Tickers, dissecting the latest earnings calls and uncovering those hidden gems of the market.
Thanks for joining us.